everyone. I hope you're all doing well and having a beautiful day. I currently have my hair in kind of a puffy ponytail. I brushed my hair. Well, today is Friday. Get lost track. Friday, April 3rd, and I brushed my hair a few days ago on Tuesday. This past Tuesday, March 31st, and I've been wearing it since then in this kind of puffy afro ponytail, and I've just been wearing it as that since then. I'm trying to, as I've mentioned in a couple of videos back, try to work on my length retention and just learning to take care of my hair in this natural state in my journey. But that's another story. Okay, in today's video, I am going to be talking about, I wanted to do a video, but I wanted to think about it for a little while before I actually made the video. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about some advice that I thought was important to help people in their hair journey, especially if you're wearing your hair natural. And I wrote it down on a list because I can be very forgetful, and I just wanted to put, some thought into it before I actually made this video, and I wanted to share it with you guys today. This is advice that I've learned over the years, wearing my hair, because I have tried to wear my hair natural before in the past, and I'm currently going on 3 or 4 years wearing it natural now, and just learning over the years about my hair and just trying to learn it now as it is in its natural state, the point that I'm at in my life. And this advice might be able to help you or help someone you know, but I wrote it down because like I said, I can be forgetful, and I just wanted to not forget any of the points that I thought were important to hopefully help you guys or help someone you know. And the first one might sound a little strange or weird, but I found out through my own experience that it is important and it affects your hair. The first tip or advice I would give you is to make sure that your fingernails are nice and filed and trimmed. You don't have any jagged fingernails, because believe it or not, when you're styling your hair or working on your hair, the nails, if they're rough or jagged, can catch onto your hair and snag and pull and, cause damage to your strands. Another thing I discovered, because I'm kind of neglectful with this between, my day-to-day life and work, where I don't always keep my hands moisturized, that I have in my own experience of doing my hair, when my hands, the skin of my hands are rough or dry or cracked and need of some moisture itself, when I go to style my hair, I've actually felt the skin of my hands snag or pull on my strands of my hair. And, I'm thinking to myself, why would the skin of my hands, affect my hair if they are at the time maybe dry or could use some lotion? But it really, can tear and snag at your hair and the strands of your hair and lead to breakage, which is something you probably don't want. So just making sure that your fingernails and the skin on your hands are not rough and cracked to where they can kind of grab and snag and pull your strands and cause breakage. Another thing I want to give, which I'm sure you've heard before, some of these tips, but they're still important, is taking care of your diet, making sure you're eating the proper nutrients, fruits, vegetables, because as you know, you've heard the expression, you are what you eat. And it's very important, if you're not taking care of yourself on the inside, eating make sure you get the proper nutrients and vitamins E. If that means you have to take an additional supplement on top of your diet, just making sure that you're taking care of yourself as far as your diet. Make sure you're getting the vitamins you need to help benefit your hair care journey. Stress, which is something I struggle with, or I guess I just didn't realize or failed to realize, that stress is a big factor that can affect the health of your hair and cause breakage and damage and hinder you on your hair care journey. So making sure that you're taking care of your stress, whether it's doing things that help you calm and relax, like listening to music, whatever works best for you to try to, unwind and just relieve some of that stress, because it's not only good for your hair health, but your overall health as well. Exercise, making sure that you're being active and, doing things, not necessarily, you have to be in the gym every day, 24/7, but just taking care of your body affects your hair health. And, just being active and being involved in doing things and getting up and moving, because that helps with your blood flow, it helps with your overall body, your hair health, just being active. How do you care for your hair is very important, because how we manipulate our hair and tend to our hair affects the health of our hair, the growth of our hair, or are we retaining length, things of that nature. Whatever your goals in your hair care journey may be, how do you handle your hair and take care of your hair is very important. How do you style your hair? Are you putting your hair away, making sure the ends are being protected, your hair is being protected from manipulation, the environment, other factors that can affect the health of your hair, the length, if your, goal is to retain length. So just being mindful of how you're styling your hair, putting your hair in the same place when you're styling your hair in a ponytail or a bun. Are you constantly pulling your hair in the same spot, or are you at least trying to adjust it? For a while you might wear it in the lower bun and kind of midway, or just constantly pulling your hair up or back can cause breakage and tension and stress on your hair and your strands, and we don't want that, of course. Do realize that no one's perfect. Everyone has their own things that they're going through in life. So just be understanding and patient with yourself that you're going to go through your trial and error period. Whether it happens one time, two times, or more than twice, you're going to have that trial and error period where you're going to try things out, and after a while you find out it's not working, or it's working at first but maybe after a while it stops working, your hair get used to it, or the products aren't the same. So just be understanding and patient with yourself that you're going to go through those trial and error periods, and we're all learning how to take care of our hair in its natural state, or if you wear it relaxed. So give yourself that time, and just don't be so hard and judging on yourself, because it's bad enough you have the rest of the world judging you. So just being patient with yourself and understanding that you're gonna have to learn how to take care of your hair in its natural state if you're transitioning, especially from doing perms and relaxers and things of that nature, and now you're choosing to wear your hair natural. Do realize that hair products, no matter what hair products you use, they are to help you reach the goals that you would like to have in your hair care journey. They're not necessarily perfect. They're not going to necessarily guarantee that it's going to make your hair shiny. It's going to make your hair grow down to your bum or anything of that nature. They're just there to help you in the process reach your hair care goals. They're not 100% guarantee or perfect that they're going to absolutely give you what you want and in a certain time frame, but they can help you get to that point. So just know that they're not hair products, no matter the brand, the cost, they're not perfect, but they're there to help you get to where you would like to be in your hair care journey. Don't forget, which is something I'm trying to work on, your ends of your hair need love. They are so important. As you've heard time and time again, the ends of our hair are the oldest part of our hair, as far as growing, because your hair grows through your scalp. So making sure you give your ends love. They need love. If that means having a separate routine just for your ends of your hair, is important. So don't forget, those ends of your strands, they need love too. And as you can see, I do have this section that's, as I mentioned earlier, rubbing. So you want to, of course, be mindful. Your ends need love. Don't forget your ends. Sleeping habits. Sleeping habits, when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about how are you taking your hair when you go to sleep? Are you sleeping on satin or silk pillowcases? Are you using satin or sleep scarves? How are you styling your hair is important. But I think one other thing that we kind of forget about when it comes to sleeping, not that those things are important, but making sure you're getting the proper amount of rest. Good quality rest, which I am, as you can see, not the best at getting proper sleep. But making sure, because I think that we kind of forget about that. We always talk about, sleeping on satin or silk pillowcases and wearing satin or silk scarves, but we don't really talk about, are we getting the proper quality rest? Because you can sleep for 9 hours, but toss and turn and this and that, and wake up several times. So I think quality is also very important as far as your sleeping. Are you getting that? Not only are you getting that amount of time that your body needs to rest for your overall health and your hair health, but is it that quality, good sleep, toss and turn and things of that nature. So just try to get good rest, making sure you get good rest every day as much as you can. Hair touching or rubbing on your clothes and other surfaces like material on your headrest in the vehicle, on the couch or chair you sit in. This rubbing can cause breakage and damage to your strands. Part of this is I was trying to give my hair a break from my 50 million bobby pins, but just being mindful of the surfaces your hair is rubbing on, whether it's your clothes or, like I mentioned, the chairs you're sitting in, even, believe it or not, the headrest in your vehicle. Your head rubs up against it, when you're driving or sitting in your vehicle. So just being mindful of what's coming in contact with your hair and rubbing and causing friction on your hair and your strands. Self-love and mental health is very important because words are very powerful. How you feel about yourself is very important. It's something I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've struggled with more so as a child, because when I was younger, I didn't realize how powerful words can be. And even in those moments, I might have been saying it jokingly, how that can affect not only my hair health, but my mental health as well. And just, when I was younger, I used to talk about how thick my hair and how it's too thick and how it was a hot mess. And it's bad enough you have the outside world judging you, just how you feel about yourself and your hair. Do you love your hair? Do you appreciate your hair? Are you accepting your hair the way it is, whether it's long, short, kinky, it doesn't matter, words such as like nappy or your hair is ugly and terrible. Believe it or not, that is it's powerful. It can be painful to individuals, and we can only do so much about how the outside world will judge you based on your hair. If you choose to wear your hair natural, or you color treat your hair, or you relax or perm your hair, or if it's short, long, etc. But just how you feel about yourself is very important. Loving yourself, accepting your hair, how it is. It is beautiful the way it is. It is yours, whether it's this color, brown, black, short, long, thick, like mine or not like mine. It is beautiful. Just love your hair, appreciate your hair, because how you feel and the words you say to yourself and the words we hear from other people's mouths are powerful, and they can be painful, and they affect how you feel about yourself, and it goes into your hair health, believe it or not. If you're not loving and appreciating your hair and accepting your hair, it affects how you feel about your hair, how you take care of your hair. So just be mindful that words can be powerful. Okay. Also, I'm almost finished. I'm sorry. If you have a hair care routine, making sure that you try to be consistent, which is something I'm trying to work on myself, is being more consistent on how I'm taking care of my hair as far as wash day, conditioning, deep conditioning, things of that nature. But you have to give yourself time to develop a routine, because what works for other people may not necessarily work for you. And at depending on what chapter or point in your hair care journey you are, something that may worked when your hair was shorter may not work as it gets longer. So just being mindful that you might have to adjust your hair care routine at some points in your hair care journey, and just developing a routine on when you're going to wash your hair, when you're going to condition your hair, if you're going to deep condition your hair, what product you're going to use, and give yourself time to use that product so you can really understand if it's the right deep conditioner, leave-in, shampoo, etc. for your hair. Just developing that routine, and once you develop that routine that works, stick to it. That product, stick to it. It's okay to try different products, but once you found that leave-in conditioner that works good for your hair, stick to it until otherwise. If it gets to the point that it doesn't work for your hair, then that's a different story. But just developing that routine and being consistent with it, because your hair needs that consistency. It needs to know, okay, you're going to deep condition it this time, you're going to deep condition it this many times a month with this product, because our hair needs that routine, that structure. Another point is, which I kind of already mentioned, is do what's best for your hair, because as you know, all our hair is different. Whether it's the color, the texture, the porosity, all our hair is different. So finding out what works for your hair and doing what works for your hair, not what works for someone else on YouTube or something you read online or your cousin, etc. Doing what works best for your hair. And last but not least is taking care of your overall health, because our mental health is important, our diet is important, our stress, our sleep, how we take care of ourselves. It affects our hair health, our overall health. So just do the best you can. No one is perfect, but just be mindful of all these things I mentioned, because they all affect the health of your hair and your overall health. So thank you guys. I appreciate you all watching and taking the time. I appreciate the love and the support. Try any of these tips if you want to in the comments. Mention, if you've tried any of these tips, or you plan on trying any of these tips, or you found the advice I've given was important, or if it's something you haven't heard before, Share them with a friend, a family member. Thank you guys again. Love you. Bye.